Hello everyone and welcome to the S tier classroom. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Today we're doing a bit of a different type of video and ranking just whatever in Marvel Rivals. Starting with, what Marvel Rivals character would be best to get a burger with?
I love this burger, it's so delicious. One of the best burgers I've ever had. In my universe, this place closed 6 years ago. I don't know why, I really don't. You have money, right? I'm not very liquid right now.
Now we're going to be going in alphabetical order, so first off we have Adam Warlock. Now Adam Warlock in this game, pretty chill dude, you know, I don't really know if he needs like food to sustain himself. He doesn't really seem like that kind of a fella, but I think you could have some really nice conversation with him. I'm going to put him right at B tier. He's brought down a little because he won't be sharing in the meal, but you know, you're going to have a good time. Next up, we have Black Panther, the King of Wakanda, T'Challa. Now, T'Challa, in my opinion, across like most iterations, just seems like a really cool dude. And you know what? He's going to take you to a nice-ass place, and he is going to pay. You know it. That is the King of Wakanda right there, baby. That is the king of a lovely mealtime. That's going to be our first absolute burger time. Now, next up, we have Black Widow, and you know, I'm not really sure. I gotta base this on me, obviously, and I just don't think that, I gotta be honest, no matter how much I would like for her to, I just don't think that Black Widow would enjoy my personality very much, but I think that she would be nice, so we're gonna put her at C tier. Captain America. Now, I am basing this just on the, like, general perceptions of these characters, you know, a vague combination of the movies, comic books, games, my imagination, but I'm pretty sure that this is some sort of futuristic Captain America, but we're not going with that. We're going with like the standard Steve Rogers you think of. He's been unfrozen, and you know what? I think he'd be pretty good to get a burger with. We're gonna put him at A tier because I feel like he might take you to a place that's like was like a type of place that he really enjoyed back in the day, but like it's like kind of shitty by today's standards. Like the hamburger meat is like the most unseasoned mash you've ever had, and they serve it on white bread with no cheese. Okay, you know what, actually, since I do think you would insist on that restaurant, I did talk myself into putting him in B tier behind Adam Warlock. Now, Cloak and Dagger, this one is interesting because both Cloak and Dagger are like, in my opinion, like, they seem like nice, cool people that you could, like, have a good conversation with. But, like, how does this situation work? Like, are they, like, gonna be, like, together, like, on, like, the title screen and, like, during their ultimate? Or, like, at a certain point, are you gonna have to be, like, oh, hey, Cloak, it was really nice talking to you. I really want to talk to Dagger now, please. Because, like, I feel like that would just be, like, kind of awkward. So, I think just because of that, we are going to land on another B tier in front of Captain America, because they would not take you to a Great Depression hamburger joint. Doctor Strange, I'm really not sure, because, like, he doesn't really seem like a burger guy to me, A, so I don't think he's going to be that enthusiastic about it, and, like, he already has a very calm affect, and, like, once again, basing this on me, I would be worried the whole time that he's, like, upset at me, and is going to, like, take out something from the Darkhold and sick it on me, so we're gonna put him at C, but in front of Black Widow, I think. Now, next up is Groot. Very, very sweet fella, but all he's gonna say the whole time is, I am Groot, and I also feel like he is probably going to get some sort of foliage or pollen on your burger and fries, so we're gonna put him at D tier. I'm sorry, Groot. Now, next up we have Hawkeye, and here's the thing. Hawkeye in this game is really cool. But I never read any Hawkeye comics before I saw Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye, and by then I already knew about Green Arrow, the better bow-based hero, and so, like, I call it the Jeremy Renner tax with any version of Hawkeye now that's not just, like, the comic books, because then I can separate enough, but, like, looking at this Hawkeye, there's still a little Jeremy Renner in there, and he'd take you to one of those bullshit burger places where they serve it on newspaper, and your fries come in a little shopping cart, and there's a part on the menu that says "Our Story," and the burgers are $20. And like, I don't know if he's going to pay or not, frankly. We're going to put him at C, behind Black Widow. Now, next up, we have Hela, and I'm kind of two minds about this, because on the one hand, I feel like she'd be really fun to gossip with. Like, she would absolutely give you full permission to, like, say the meanest things you can think of about people. And I really value that in a conversation partner. But also, if she's not like that, I feel like she's going to be really cold and hard to talk to. And that mist that her cape has, you don't think about this in a game because they haven't put smells into games yet, but I feel like her cape would be kind of stinky. Like, I feel like it kind of smell like dead people. So, because of the toss-up, but because it might be really fun, we're going to put her at B tier in front of Captain America. Next up, we have the Hulk. And okay, obviously you could go the easy route and have this be Bruce Banner, you know, classic Bruce Banner B tier for this one. Like, it'd be a fine time. It's obviously more interesting if you're getting a burger with the Hulk. But I do feel bad because I'm basically just picking to give him a worse ranking. Because, like, immediately he's breaking the chair. I don't think you guys are going to be able to talk much. This Hulk is definitely more, like, vocal than, say, like, the, 2012 Avengers Hulk. But he's gonna break the chair immediately. People are gonna be freaked out because, like, in a lot of Marvel canon, people are fucking scared of the Hulk. So, you know what? No, that's our first leave in the restaurant. I'm not getting a burger with the Hulk. I'm sorry. Now, next up, we have Invisible Woman, Sue Storm, or I'm sorry, Sue Richards. I don't want to be disrespectful, but that is going to be an A tier. That's a real pretty lady. She's nice. She's very smart, and I feel like even if she wasn't having that good of a time, she just, like, Invisible Woman on the Fantastic Four has a very calming presence. She, like, brings them all together really, and so, like, because of that, I do feel like even if she didn't like me, which would crush me, I feel like she wouldn't let it on too much. So, like, either way, I think we're gonna put her at A tier. Next up, dude, Lin Lee Iron Fist. You know what? That is another A tier. That's easy. Like, he seems just cool as hell. I feel like you're gonna have a great time. I don't think he's gonna pay, because, like, he's a younger hero, and with them, I usually lean more on the side of them being broke. So, like, I don't think you're going to have to cover for him, but, like, I don't think you're getting a free meal out of it, which is a little unfortunate, but I think you guys are going to have a great time. Throw some beers into the mix, and, you know, I talked myself into an absolute burger time. Let's go, baby. Now, next up, we have Iron Man, and I don't know if you guys know this. I haven't made it too present on my channel, but I have tried to put in some subtle messages. I am an Iron Man hater. I hate this guy. I want to create anti-aircraft missile systems to shoot him out of the sky. That being said, I don't think him and I would have a lot to talk about, because, like, what would I say? Like, oh, what was it like selling weapons to warmongers for most of your life, and then going, nah, that's not me anymore. What was that like, Tony? So I would like to leave the restaurant, ideally, but I feel like if you leave the restaurant before the end of the meal, Tony Stark would bill you for the meal. I just feel that in my heart and soul. But if you stay, he's gonna pay, because he needs you to know how rich he is. So we're gonna put him at a D tier, but above Groot, because he would not get pollen or leaves on your food. Next up, we have Jeff the Shark, and you know what? You wouldn't be able to talk to him, but gosh darn it, he would just be so cute. It'd be such a good time sitting there, you're eating your burger, he's doing a little song, maybe one of his little flips or something, that little guy. We're going to put him at B tier, right? Ooh, he's going to go in between Cloak and Dagger and Hela. Next up, we have Loki Laufeyson, and okay, I'm sorry to all the Tumblr fangirlies, but this is an easy D tier. But we're going to put him in front of Iron Man. Here's the thing. I just don't think that especially this version of Loki would put in the effort to have a good conversation with you, because he just thinks he's better than you. And then you know what else he's gonna do? Right before the check comes, he's gonna just, like, He's gonna illusion away from the table right out the door, baby, and you're gonna be like, oh, do you want, King of Asgard, do you want to cut? And then he's gonna, poof, he's gone. Next up, we have pop sensation Luna Snow, and you know what? I think that this is gonna be another A tier, because, like, she seems like one of the nicest characters in the game. She's loaded, so that on top of being nice, I feel like she would definitely pay for your food. Once again, she's getting the pretty lady bonus. I can't lie, that is a factor. Yeah, that's an easy A tier for Luna Snow. Next up, we have Ilyana Rasputin, aka Magic. I feel like that this is a solid B tier, and hear me out. Number one, she's cool. Like, Magic in this game is just so cool. Like, she'd sit down at the table, put her, like, big-ass sword next to her, be awesome. But the only thing is, I do feel like, now this is based on Nightcrawler having a little bit of a stink to him when he teleports in Marvel canon, and since she's traveling in and out of Limbo, I can't imagine that Limbo smells good, so that's really the only thing bringing her down from an A tier. And, you know, I'm not positive that she would pay, but that's alright. I think that that's just an easy front of B tier. Now, Magneto, guys, I hate to spoil it this early. That is an absolute burger time. He's top of our list so far. Number one, I am, of course, a Magnus defender, but also, hear me out. Number one, he is gonna take you to some bomb-ass Krakoan burger place. I'm sure he's gonna fly you out. He'll either buy your ticket or, like, send a piece of sheet metal out to you and then bring it back with you on it. But he's gonna take you to some awesome little Krakoan joint. It's gonna be fancy. He's gonna pay. You're gonna get to talk about mutant history and culture. You may have to apologize for being a Homo sapien a few times, but I feel like if you're eager to learn about the mutant culture and you are like 100% like, yeah, man, mutants can have the moon if they want also, like, just like, agree to whatever he says, because I feel like getting the great burger and the great conversation is more important than if you maybe overplay your hand on, like, how much you believe in mutant supremacy. Now, Mantis is a bit of a tricky one because she's very nice. She is probably the most emotionally aware of any of the heroes in the game, so I feel like you could have, like, really nice, emotionally fulfilling conversation. However, is she like a plant woman in this game? It kind of seems that way, and, like, here's the thing, I really like getting grilled onions on my burger, and, like, I would just feel uncomfortable eating a plant in front of someone else who I'm, like, pretty sure is part plant. Oh, I just realized I didn't actually give her a ranking. We're putting her B tier behind Adam Warlock. Next up, we have Mr. Fantastic, and you know what? I think that that would be a fantastic meal. I think I might have to put him also at A tier, probably at the back of A tier, because he's very handsome, but just seeing from my perspective, he doesn't get the pretty lady bonus. I'm sorry, Reed. But in this game, he just genuinely seems like a fun, nice guy to talk to, and, once again, pretty sure he would pay. So next up, we have Moon Knight and all three of his personalities, plus Khonshu is kind of in there too, I guess, and I think that this is going to have to be a B tier because, like, it would be a real mix-up between, like, what personalities you gel with. Khonshu's also talking to him, so that would be weird. He's not going to pay. You know what? Actually, we're putting him at C tier, just in front of Hawkeye due to the Jeremy Renner tax. Now, next up, we have the King of Atlantis, Namor. And here's the thing. He's cool, but I feel like if you take him to... I don't think they have burgers under the sea. So this is going to have to be a land-based restaurant. Maybe you could take him to the spot that Magneto showed you on Krakoa, if that dinner went well, and he's like, come back anytime you would like. But here's the thing, I feel like either way, Namor the whole time is just going to be like, he's just going to be ragging on the surface people, man. And, like, it's going to be, I don't know, I just feel like it's going to be pretty tough for, like, me to get along with that. Because, like, I don't really like the ocean, frankly. What are we going to talk about? But he is loaded, and I feel like wants you to know that due to all the, like, jewelry and stuff. So we're going to put him at C tier. in between Black Widow and Moon Knight. Now, next up, we have Penny Parker, and we could take the easy way, like we almost did with Bruce Banner, just have her out of the mech, probably a solid B tier, But I want her to be in the mech. She is eating this meal in the mech, and I'm sorry, once again, I think that that's gonna have to bump her down. You'd at least be able to, talk to her, and I don't think people would be as scared of her as they are the Hulk, but I think she's gotta be Jeremy Renner tax. She's in front of Hawkeye, but she's in C tier. Now, next up, we have Psylocke, and in traditional Marvel canon, Psylocke is not the, Japanese lady that you might expect her to be. She is actually Betsy Braddock, a British woman who is just in that body. I'm not going to get into it, but, they went with a different version of Psylocke for this, where she is she's a demon hunting lady from Japan, and, that is so much better, because Psylocke is way too cool of a design to waste on Betsy Braddock doing a weird Ghost in the Shell situation. But all that is to say, I think I'm going to put her in B tier, right behind Magic, because, I feel very similarly about them in this situation, where, they're both running on the rule of cool. It'll be really awesome to go with her. If you let her pick, she's probably going to pick, a really, cool, trendy spot. But I would just be, I'd quite honestly be intimidated by her whole vibe, and so that's B tier. Next up, we have Rocket Raccoon, and Rocket, I feel like he's a real, love him or hate him type guy, but you know what? God damn it, I love that little rodent so much. I think he's gonna have to be an A tier. Rocket is one of my favorite, Rocket Raccoon is my favorite MCU character, and man, I've just grown to love this little guy so much. I feel like he'd have a good time. Rocket would love burgers, so I feel like he'd be very enthusiastic. But he's not going to pay like our other A-tier members, so he is firmly at the back. Next up, we have Scarlet Witch, and you know what? We've got a real contingent of cool girls working here in B tier, and I feel very similarly about Scarlet Witch. She seems nice, but she's just a little mysterious, and I just feel like that'd really get to me while reading. And also, like with Doctor Strange, I would be a little concerned the whole time that oh, if she's not having fun, she might put a weird hex on me and I'm gonna wake up in a ditch in 3 days. I guess that's just drugging someone, but that's another solid B tier, baby. Now, next up, we have Peter Parker, Spider-Man. And okay, I feel like this might make some people mad. I am leaving the restaurant with haste. Here's the thing. I don't think Peter Parker has ever sat through one event in his entire life. It might be a fun time to get burgers with him, but 15 minutes in, he is probably crawling out of the bathroom window to go fight the Green Goblin. And you know what? You're stuck with the bill. And you let him pick because you want to be nice, but he picks this trendy place in Queens that MJ took him to. And he is going to go leave out the bathroom window in 20 minutes to fight Dr. Octopus. And you are going to be stuck with a $70 bill for 2 burgers, 1 shared thing of fries, a milkshake, and his drink. And he is gone. Next up, we have the old squirrel girl, Doreen Green. And you know what? I think that that's a solid B tier. But I think she's actually going to be at the front of B tier because I think that she would be a lot more easily approachable than some of our other B tier ladies. Wow, that felt really mean to say. None of you ladies are B tier. But, she seems really friendly. I feel like you'd have a lot of fun. And you're probably gonna get to meet one of her squirrels or two. It's gonna be a good time. Next up we have Star-Lord, and I'm on the fence with this one, I gotta say, because, it depends on what version you're going on with Star-Lord, because comic book Star-Lord is way more responsible, has way more of a head on his shoulders than MCU Star-Lord, especially in Guardians 1. But the Rivals version seems to be kind of a blend between those two. And blend? What does that start with? A B, baby. We're going to put him right in front of Jeff the Shark, but behind Cloak and Dagger. Oh yeah, he also, I don't think he'd pay. Next up, we have Aurora Monroe Storm. And I gotta say, that's a front of A tier right there, baby. I love Storm. She's so cool. This would be so fun. I would still be intimidated, but just how cool I think she is, I feel like would get me over that. I'd have enough questions that I wouldn't just be sitting there horrified of the silence. but, like, I would just be asking her so many questions about, like, what's it like to make a hurricane? That seems awesome. And you know what? She's paying. I feel like Storm is probably loaded in this universe. I don't know why. Now, next up, we have Frank Castle, the Punisher, and I feel like that this has got to be C tier. You know, C for Castle, because, like, it could be kind of fun, but I feel like it'd be a lot closer to, like, getting food with that one uncle who makes you kind of uncomfortable and is always talking about what we should do about them. You know, them. And I don't know. I don't need that kind of energy in my life. That's back of C tier. Punisher is losing to the Jeremy Renner tax. That is rough, folks. Next up, we have Thor Odinson, and you know what? He's in A tier, I feel like in front of Rocket, just for the sole fact of, like, watching him eat the gargantuan amount of food he's gonna eat it'd be so entertaining. And, like, if he wasn't already gonna pay due to being, like, you know, interdimensional space god royalty, he would have to pay because he's factually gonna order, like, 90% of what ends up on your receipt. Like, you're having a burger and fries if you're me, maybe a milkshake if you're feeling a little naughty. But Thor, he's getting all the burgers, all the fries, he's getting, like, fish sandwiches if they have them, chicken sandwiches, he's getting all the apps, he may even go for a hearty soup at the end. So yeah, that's second to last in A tier. Next up, we have Venom, and here's the thing. Would it be kind of cool to go get a burger with, like, a 9-foot-tall, jacked alien monster? Yes. Would he also be gooping and globbing all over the table? Probably getting that symbiote goop on your burger? Also yes, and that is an automatic D tier, but front of D tier, because, once again, jacked alien monster. Next up, we have the Winter Soldier for our second to last character, and you know, I hate to contribute to this middle pile at such a pivotal time in the video, but I do think that he's just going to be a B tier for Bucky. That's how I feel. Like, oh, let's put him next to Captain America just to be nice, but let me explain my rationale. I feel like it might be kind of fun, but, like, I just think he's going to be really quiet. I don't think him and I would gel that much. He is sexy, so he gets a bonus point for that. But one thing I do know about the lore of Marvel Rivals is that his arm actually has, like, an eldritch deity in it that Hydra put in there. That's why it can do all that stuff. I don't feel comfortable eating around that. There are so many aspects of him that, like, his hotness puts him in absolute burger time. The eldritch arm, that's about a D tier. And his quietness, that's in B tier, so I think once again this averages out to B tier. Okay, last we have Wolverine. I feel like, here's the thing with Wolverine. You're not getting an A tier hangout out of this guy until, like, your fifth one, I feel like, because that's when he's gonna be like, you're not so bad, when he's, like, really drunk, but, like, until then, I just feel like it's gonna be kind of weird and awkward, and he's gonna, like, be kind of a dickhead to you, so this is just the initial burgering, so I think we're gonna have to put him, can't put him behind Hawkeye, can't do that to Logan, but we're putting him above Hawkeye in C tier. Well, that was fun, but you know, after 35 burgers, I think I could kick back and watch a movie. Next, we're gonna rank how these characters would be to watch a movie with. This is across the movie watching spectrum, from the theater to home viewing to even a casual party watch. And that first round took way longer than I expected, so we're doing this a bit differently this time. Basically, I'm not explaining all of them again. Now, I have two primary criteria for my movie watching partner. Number one, how quiet are they going to be? Number two, how much can they emotionally connect with the film? I know that some of y'all might be thinking like, is hotness a factor? Get your mind out of the gutter. This is cinema time. We are observing art. So let's go through some of the standouts here. Up in absolute cinema, obviously we have Mantis, Thor, and Luna Snow. Now here's the thing. I feel like Mantis is going to be the perfect combination of quiet during important scenes and being able to emotionally resonate with you. Mantis's powers are emotion-based after all. She could get you to connect to films in a brand new way. She could have you feeling like the third Transformers movie is like the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which she's in. Now, Thor and Luna kind of run opposite sides here. I feel like Thor would have an appreciation for the arts being from Asgard, and also, he would not talk. He would be silent as a stone. Now, Luna Snow, on the other hand, also an appreciation for the arts, being the pop star that she is, but I feel like she would talk a little bit more, but I also feel like she would have, like, meaningful things to contribute to the movie watching experience. That is also a key part of this. If they are going to talk, how much value do their words have? Now, I did say we're not going to talk about each of these, though, and I am sticking to that. So in A tier and B tier, we have a lot of what I would call our normal people, but with a few variations here that we're going to need to point out. See, in A tier, you have a lot of people that are either going to be really silent, but are maybe falling down in the emotional connection side, that's like Bucky, or people that I feel like would be great movie partners, just not the perfect like in the top 3, like Storm and Doctor Strange. Now at the top of B tier though, we do have Black Panther, because here's the thing, I feel like he could almost be an absolute cinema tier, but Wakanda is like a real Earth nation, so I feel like whatever setting you watch this movie with him in, there are gonna be Wakandan bodyguards there, and like, I would just feel uncomfortable watching a movie and like, knowing that someone literally is watching me the entire time. Now, Captain America, for example, is at the bottom of B tier, because I also feel like he'd be a good movie partner, but there's a good chance that he's gonna get like, way too freaked out by whatever you're watching. Like that story of the people in that cinema with the movie of the first train, and they all like, killed themselves, I think. Now the rest of B tier is just going to be pretty average, okay movie partners. Honestly, your mileage will mostly depend on the kind of movie you pick, like Punisher and Wolverine. They could go up to an A tier if you're watching like an action movie or something. But at the top of C tier, we have Namor, basically for the same reason as Black Panther, except his guards would also be like rudely condescending about all the surface world stuff, just like he would be. Now in C tier, we also have a little contingent I'm going to call the Quippers, but you could also just call them some of the Guardians of the Galaxy. You see there we got Star-Lord, Rocket, and Groot. Now you see Groot, you don't have this issue with him. My issue with watching a movie with him would mostly be that he's a big tree man, and I don't think would be able to really like connect with me on the movie. But oh my god, Star-Lord and Rocket would just not shut the fuck up. Spider-Man will also be next to them, but he is going to leave the movie at least halfway through. So, like, it's not that bad, you know? Now, for our only D tier member, we have Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and here's the thing. I've been reading some classic Fantastic Four lately. You can't get Reed to do anything. Sue cannot get Reed to do, like, anything. Like, he is always working on other stuff, so just, like, you're just not going to be able to watch the movie with him. At best, you're going to, like, have it on, and he's going to be working on some, like, doohickey in the corner. And for our last category, we have put on the video from the hit 2002 film The Ring. Basically, this will kill them in 7 days. Now, Iron Man, I think that would just be a good thing for me to do for the world. But Venom, I came to this conclusion because watching a movie with Venom, you would learn that symbiotes make noises that you've never, like, thought about. Like, the way that his, like, slime, like, regenerates and, like, goops off of him, that would make a noise. And, like, the thought of sitting through that while trying to watch a movie made me want to kill him. So that's what I'm gonna do. Haha, movies. How about that, right? How about you like and subscribe? There's no joke. Now for our third and final ranking, I decided to do something even weirder because wow, that first one took way longer than I expected. This is ranking the Marvel Rivals characters on how good they would each be to attend a funeral service with of someone that they knew really well but you didn't know at all. Now let me explain my criteria for this because this could go in a lot of ways. This one is mostly about the intangibles. You want someone that you're going to emotionally resonate with, but you can't have someone that's like going through too many emotions for you to handle at the time, but also if someone is like deathly cold, that's just gonna be kind of weird, because, like, you didn't even know them, and somehow you ended up being the more, like, comforting person to people around you. Like, that's just strange. So this one, mostly vibes based. Our top tier is a life-changing service, and we have Adam Warlock and the Black Panther. I mean, do I even need to explain anything? Imagining either one of these fellas delivering a eulogy for literally anyone has, like, I'm starting to choke up. Like, they could give a mountain-moving, earth-shattering eulogy to Big Dick Cheney, and at the end, I would be the biggest supporter there is. I'm realizing now, looking at these, I don't know why I assumed this, because this isn't a job that most people at a funeral have, but looking at these, I am kind of assuming that, like, at some point, they are going to be giving a eulogy, and you are going to have to be reacting to it. It's like, in the A tiers, we have a bunch of people that I just feel like are, you know, pretty, like, emotionally consistent and intelligent, like, very, very thoughtful men and women that I think would give a very beautiful eulogy, but just not quite an Adam Warlock or Black Panther one. And then down in B, we're starting to get into the, like, why am I here categories, like Doctor Strange and Mr. Fantastic, and Black Widow also. I just don't feel like you would be, like, emotionally helping them much. Like, about 20 minutes in, it would just kind of be like, seems like you've got this. Like, you're not that upset about this. Now, moving into C tier, we've got some of the less verbal of our characters. So Jeff and Groot, this is just further expanding on the why am I here category. Although, you know, I don't know, Jeff could sit on your lap or something. You could sit on Groot's lap or something. But this is where we're starting to move into the characters that are a bit more emotionally unstable, to put it bluntly. Like, we have Logan, and, like, the only upside of that is that, like, he's been to so many funerals that, like, maybe you're gonna get lucky and he's just gonna be like, another one. But, you know, going to a funeral with Wolverine, just not gonna be a good time. I feel like the same with the Winter Soldier. I feel like the same with Rocket. Those are all very liable to go on a very, very problematic bender afterwards. Spider-Man, he's just gonna be blaming himself the whole time. Like, the person could have gotten, like, hit by a bus that fell from the sky while Spider-Man was on Battleworld, and he'd be like, oh, I should have saved them. Oh, what would Uncle Ben say? Now in C tier, we've also got Hela and Loki, and here's the thing, I feel like Loki just, like, wouldn't really give a shit, and so that would just kind of, like, be one of the, like, B tier, why am I even here's, but, like, worse, because he's gonna be rude about it. Hela's would be weird on its own, because, like, isn't she just gonna be like, oh, well, I'm gonna see them in, like, 15 minutes. I'm gonna just pop down to hell and see them if I want. So, like, weird in a different way. Now, our D tiers, these are gonna be ones that, like, they might ruin the funeral, honestly. Like, I just do not trust the Castle. I just do not trust the Punisher, Moon Knight, or Iron Man to handle this, like, well, or in an emotionally mature way, and they might, like, attack the priest or the pallbearers. And then Hulk. So with the D tier ones, there was, like, a maybe they might, like, attack the funeral just in general. Hulk, that's just a guarantee, so he is our only coffin flop. Oh, and if you want me to do the thing in Human Torch, make sure this video does well. Maybe leave me some ideas for more tier lists in the comments too. Chop chop, watcher. Folks, I hope you had fun ranking whatever in Marvel Rivals with me. I want to do more fun, kind of weird videos like this again in the future. But that is the video for this week. Thank you so much for joining us as always. I will see y'all next time. Let me know any other categories you want me to rank these characters on. Put that down in the comments, please. And I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video. As always, if you made it to this point, a double thank you very much. Man, this one was, it was, like, kind of easier to make, but tougher to conceptualize, because, like, I have, like, I try and not make it too much of a, like, formula, but I have a pretty, like, structured way that I do my videos usually, and this was just pretty different, especially on the, like, production end that you guys don't really see. But what I have for my collection this week, something very exciting. This is the 18th volume of Haikyuu. This is I don't think it's the start of their match against Shiro Torizawa. I haven't read this one yet, but it has their match against Shiro Torizawa in it. There they are. This is probably my favorite cover in Haikyuu that I have so far. That is one thing about the manga's presentation that I don't love, is the covers are just not the best. Especially, like, I don't like the little dots that just has, like, around it. Like, I feel like it makes it kind of messy. I always feel like I'd prefer these covers with no dots. That's all I gotta say. Get rid of them. Get rid of the dots. That's my stance. I don't know what else I have to say. I'll see y'all next time, I think. Goodbye. We got some really fun stuff coming up. Bye.